Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack some fascinating stuff and hopefully pull out the really juicy insights for you.
Glad to be here.
Okay, so today we're dialing the clock back, way back, to 1995.
1995. A good year.
Right, and you might be thinking, okay, what's the big deal about 95? Well, let me tell you, if you're into video games at all, this year wasn't just another year. It was... well, it felt like a real renaissance.
That's a perfect word for it. A renaissance.
Yeah.
It was a huge turning point.
Totally. It was like this seismic shift. You know, it really laid down the foundations for so much of what we play today. So our mission today is basically to explore the key stuff, the events, the games that made 95 so special, and figure out why. Why was it such a turning point?
And it's fascinating because, like you said, it wasn't just a bunch of cool new games appearing out of nowhere.
No.
It felt like this rapid evolution. Things were changing fast. Foundational bits of the modern industry were really starting to lock into place.
Yeah, you could feel it.
It was a time where, you know, the boundaries in tech, story, how you even interacted with the game, they were being pushed hard.
Yeah.
There was this real sense that, wow, the whole gaming world is shifting.
And what a shift. I mean, let's kick off with something huge. May 1995, Los Angeles. The first ever E3.
Right, E3. Can you imagine the industry before that?
Yeah.
No single big stage.
Exactly. Before E3, it was kind of scattered, but bam, E3 lands, and immediately it's the place, the big annual event where everyone showed off their biggest stuff.
Yeah.
But this wasn't happening in a vacuum, right? The consoles were changing too.
Oh, definitely.
You had the NES, the beloved Nintendo Entertainment System. It was starting to fade a bit. Fewer new games.
Yeah, the 8-bit era was winding down.
The 16-bit consoles, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, they were hitting their stride. A big increase in game releases. Much more power, better graphics.
And that technological jump was crucial. It directly fed into the kinds of games we saw emerging.
So getting that thought, E3 wasn't just like another trade show.
No. It was symbolic. It showed the industry maturing, realizing its own power, its global reach. It was basically gaming saying, okay, we're serious now. We're big business.
Right.
And that console shift from 8-bit to 16-bit wasn't just about prettier pixels. It reflected tech advancements, sure, but also players expected more.
They were hungry for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hungry for deeper games, better graphics, bigger worlds to get lost in. It wasn't just a fad. It was, like you said, foundational, paving the way for everything that came next.
And you saw that hunger fed almost immediately, especially, I think, in fighting games. Let's talk Mortal Kombat 3.
MK3.
Yes. Beyond just new fighters and backgrounds, this one really changed things up. That combo system, wow. It chained attacks in ways we hadn't really seen, making it super strategic.
The dial-a combo system, yeah.
Right, and it looked better, new locations, and the story got even more dramatic. Shao Kahn breaks the rules, invades Earth, only a few fighters left to save the day. Classic stuff. But what made it a turning point for competitive fighters, do you think? More than just looking cool?
Well, it's that system, like you mentioned. The dial combo wasn't just for show. It massively deepened the skill required. You couldn't just mash buttons. You had to learn sequences, anticipate your opponent, get the timing perfect. It forced you to think ahead.
Yeah, you really had to practice.
Exactly. And that core change, it influenced fighting game design for years. It added this whole strategic layer that wasn't quite there before.
From one brawler icon to another, 1995 also gave us Comic Zone on the Sega.
Oh, Comic Zone, what a game.
Still holds up, doesn't it? Often called one of the best beat-em-ups ever. And what's amazing is the graphics, the music, considering the Sega hardware limitations, pretty incredible.
Seriously impressive for the time.
And the plot, so unique. This comic artist, Sketch, gets sucked into his own comic, and the villain, Martuz, jumps out into the real world.
Yeah, that whole concept was brilliant.
Sketch has to literally fight through the comic panels, dealing with mutants and gangsters to stop Martuz. The art, the animation, even the voice acting was really good. From a design angle, how did it nail that blend of story and visuals so well?
Well, what's so clever about Comic Zone is how the story wasn't just told, it was part of the gameplay.
Right, punching through the panels.
Exactly. Ripping the backgrounds, seeing the artist's thought bubbles.
Yeah.
It was so meta, so immersive. You felt like you were in the comic. It showed that a unique art style and a smart idea could be just as powerful as raw tech. It really pushed what a beat-em-up could even be.
Okay, let's shift gears from punching faces to, well, strategic wormfare. We gotta talk Worms.
Worms, yes, an absolute classic.
Released by Team 17 in '95, inspired by Tank Wars, apparently, and it became huge. Still is.
Incredible staying power.
Controlling these little worm squads trying to blow each other up with this crazy arsenal. But the genius was the humor, right? The best weapons weren't machine guns, they were exploding sheep, bananas, a swift poke, and those supply crates dropping in, pure chaos sometimes.
That randomness kept it fresh.
And you could play single player, or the best part, 2 players huddled around one computer. What made that mix of strategy and pure silliness work so well?
I think it was that accessibility. It was easy to understand point, shoot, try not to blow yourself up.
Yeah, easier said than done sometimes.
But underneath the humor, there was real strategy. Wind direction, trajectory, weapon choice, and the destructible terrain. That was key.
Well, yeah, tunneling through the landscape.
It proved strategy games didn't need to be super serious. That blend of tactics and laughs, it carved out its own niche, became a whole universe, like the source said. It definitely influenced a lot of games that came after.
Staying with strategy, but getting a bit more epic. Heroes of Magic and Sword, or as most people know it, Heroes of Might and Magic, also 95.
Oh, another giant.
The depth in this one was amazing. Your hero had stats attack, defense, magic, knowledge that improved as you fought, making your army stronger.
That RPG element was crucial.
Yeah, and you had your magic book, different factions like knights, barbarians, sorcerers, each felt different. You needed your creatures, though. The hero couldn't do it alone.
Right, building up your forces.
And it had those 2 modes. The big picture strategy map, exploring, building cities, recruiting, and then the turn-based tactical battles. It all came together in this really colorful, well-designed world, super atmospheric. How did it manage to fuse all that so successfully?
What's fascinating is how it balanced those layers. The grand strategy on the world map felt epic, exploring and building your empire.
Yeah.
Then you'd zoom into these really engaging tactical battles, and the hero progression tied it all together. It wasn't just one thing, it was this seamless loop of exploration, building, and fighting. It basically created the template for so many fantasy strategy games that followed. Just hours and hours of gameplay.
Okay, now, real-time strategy. RTS was absolutely blowing up in 95, and Blizzard delivered Warcraft 2, Tides of Darkness.
Blizzard, yeah. They had a knack, didn't they?
They really did. The source mentions how they always made the sequel much better than the first, and Warcraft 2 felt like a huge leap.
It really did.
You could choose humans or orcs again, but the world just felt richer. More detailed characters, better environments, and oh, that soundtrack.
Iconic soundtrack.
For the Horde.
Or the Alliance, yeah.
Exactly. It was just polished. Definitely one of the best games of its time. How did Warcraft 2 help cement RTS as a major genre?
Well, it refined things. It made the core RTS mechanics, build, gather, attack, more polished, more intuitive for more people.
Yeah, it felt slick.
Better story, bigger battles, clearer unit control. It set a lot of standards we still see. And more broadly, Blizzard's whole approach really improving sequels, not just rehashing that raise the bar for everyone. They showed how to build on success by genuinely making the game better.
And if one RTS giant wasn't enough, 95 also gave us Command & Conquer.
CNC. From Westwood Studios, another titan.
This one had such a cool, distinct vibe. That whole plot. A meteorite hits Italy, releases this alien mineral, Tiberium.
Tiberium, great hook.
Yeah, huge energy potential, but it also mutates life, wrecks the environment. So by 95, you've got this war raging between the GDI, the good guys, basically, and the Brotherhood of Nod.
Led by the one and only Kane.
The mysterious Kane, this charismatic cult leader / terrorist who thinks Tiberium is humanity's future. It was gritty, it was complex, really drew you in. What did CNC bring to the RTS table gameplay-wise?
CNC really nailed that real-time base building. Constructing your base, managing your resources with the harvesters, churning out units. It felt incredibly direct and satisfying.
Yeah, the whole production chain felt right.
And the faction design was great. GDI felt powerful, Nod felt sneaky, plus those full-motion video briefings. Cheesy now, maybe, but revolutionary then.
Oh yeah, the FMV?
For many people, CNC was RTS. It set the benchmark for accessible, strategic, fun, real-time gameplay. Really solidified those core mechanics.
Okay, let's pivot slightly. Adventures, action. Platformers were still huge, and 95 kept things creative. We got Worm Jim 2.
Earthworm Jim.
Groovy.
The sequel to that totally bizarre, hilarious platformer. Jim's a superhero again, saving Princess What's-Her-Name from Psycho Thieves.
Sounds about right for Jim.
The variety was insane. 10 levels, all different caves, ships, and the tasks. You weren't just jumping. You were transporting pigs, blowing up sand walls, protecting cows.
Yeah, never got boring.
And the weapons. Plasma guns, homing missiles, his whip. Plus those boss fights were memorable. How did Gym 2 manage to stand out when there were so many platformers?
I think it was pure, unadulterated weirdness and charm.
Yeah.
It leaned into its absurdity, the humor was relentless, and the gameplay kept throwing curveballs at you. It wasn't just more levels, it was different gameplay in each level. That creativity, combined with solid platforming, made it unforgettable. It proved personality counted for a lot.
Totally. Okay, next up, a really interesting one. Vector Man 2.
Ah, Vector Man.
Very cool, Scotty.
Right. Unique story, too. Earth in the future, 2049, humans are gone, just cleaning robots left behind.
Yeah.
But one control bot gets plugged into nukes, goes rogue, takes over Earth. Vector Man, another cleaning bot, has to come back and stop him.
Quite the promotion for a cleaning bot.
Haha, right. Gameplay was this cool mix of platforming and action. You collect photons for health, smash TVs for power-ups. The levels weren't strictly linear either. You could find different paths.
And his morphing ability, the jet stream, that was key.
Exactly. Made movement and combat really dynamic. It had a distinct feel. And for players who wanted a real hardcore challenge, 95 had options too. There was Doom Troopers.
Oof, yeah, that one was tough.
Described as needing time, effort, and patience. You're a cyborg fighting aliens from hell, apparently known for its complexity, great animation, and a killer soundtrack.
Definitely had that gritty comic book vibe.
And then Alien Soldier, super fast-paced action, running, jumping, loads of enemies, 25 levels, like 30 bosses.
That boss count is nuts.
And the character control was wild, teleporting, blocking bullets, running on the ceiling. Plus, that hardest difficulty, no continues, no passwords. Brutal.
Pure skill required for that one.
So looking at these action games, they weren't just run and gun, were they?
Not at all. I mean, you connect this to the bigger picture. These games were exploring different ways to hook the player. Worm Jim used humor and variety. Vector Man had its unique world and movement. Alien Soldier focused on incredibly deep, demanding mechanics. They were the huge variety we see today. It showed that engagement could come from mechanics, story, style, not just reflexes.
So wrapping this all up, it seems pretty clear, right? 1995 was genuinely a landmark year.
No question, a pivotal moment.
It wasn't just putting out more games, it was laying down tracks for the future across basically every genre we've talked about. Creativity, technical ambition, it all just seemed to explode.
It really did feel like a convergence point.
We got classics we still talk about, still play, and institutions like E3 got their start. And, thinking ahead, this was kind of the cusp of the next big wave, too.
Right. What was bubbling under the surface?
Windows 95 launched that year, and the Sony PlayStation. It was shown at E3 95, even if most people couldn't buy it until 96, things were about to get even crazier.
That sets things up perfectly. Which really brings us back to that central idea. Maybe a question for you, listening at home.
Yeah.
How do you see the spirit of 95, that innovation, those genre-defining moments? How do you see them echoing in the games you play now, maybe in ways you hadn't really thought about?
Ooh, that's a good one.
What bits of that renaissance are still around, maybe hiding in plain sight in modern gaming?
That is a fantastic question to chew on. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this trip back to 1995. It's been honestly a real blast revisiting these games.
Always fun to talk about the classics.
Absolutely. We really hope you enjoyed coming along with us. Until next time, keep playing, keep exploring, and keep discovering.
Take care, everyone.
Goodbye.